April of 2012, Jimmy Barnadone, who was an alleged Genovese capo, along with another alleged capo, Conrad Ianniello, and alleged Genovese soldier Salvester Zarzana, not Sylvester, Salvester, and several other guys. Anyway, they were arrested for charge of racketeering, conspiracy, extortion, illegal gambling, union embezzlement, obstruction of justice, the usual stuff. Barnadone got smacked with several racketeering raps related to shakedowns of contractors who were performing work throughout Manhattan, Brooklyn, Queens from 2006 2009. He pled guilty to conspiring with mob associate Paul Gasparrini to extort $2 per load of soil removed from construction sites. Wow. That isn't terribly much, is it, though? Well, anyway, Barnadone was a former secretary treasurer of Local 24, the International Union of Journeymen and Allied Trades. He was forced to resign from the union position after he got caught taking kickbacks from construction site in Queens and Brooklyn for the Genovese family. On August 6, 2014, Bernardone was sentenced to 27 months in prison for mob kickbacks related to the construction industry. So here's how this all came to be. Sanitation Salvage was a Teamster union shop. They had strict, because they were team, wage and benefit requirements and so forth. But the owners, according to the Teamsters now, they just try to get away with hiring off-the-book workers and save money. And it got into this long, involved thing between them and the Teamsters. So what the company did was to, in effect, create their own union. They dubbed it Local 124. There's a lot of these independent unions that aren't necessarily subservient to a larger union. But anyway, this one was run by James Barnadone and another guy, Louis DeAngelis. So workers in the union just said, and they still do say, it's just a sham. You can read more about this on the internet. The workers have put up their own website and so forth. They said it's just this union is a joke. It's a tool for management. It exploits people. Again, these are employees saying that. So Bernardone and DeAngelis, they both came out of this mob-tainted Teamster local in Yonkers. The Teamsters had agreed to these sweeping government oversight reforms in 1989 to settle a federal racketeering suit against that union, and they agreed to form a board to review people and so forth. In 1991, the Teamster Independent Review Board accused DeAngelis, in writing, of having, quote, knowingly associated with members of the Cosa Nostra. Well, that's that's where Bernardone comes in. And to settle the allegation, DeAngelis agreed to a lifetime ban in an affidavit that was submitted to the District Court in New York, Federal District Court in New York, I'm sorry. So the Teamsters Independent Review Board then stripped Barnadone of his membership for 5 years using the same process. In 2011, a traditional union, the laborers, tried to take on what they regarded as exploitation at Sanitation Salvage, and they held Local 124, this made-up union, union made up by the company, responsible for that as well as the firm. They began to organize a vote to replace Barnadone's union, and they won the initial vote, but the results were tossed out because the National Labor Relations Board, the NLRBR, found the whole coercion thing on the part of the company and so forth. Sanitation Salvage threatened to fire workers who supported the laborers, the NLRB found out, and the supervisors had warned the workers to do the right thing. Barnadone showed up at a Sanitation Salvage thing wearing a Local 124 t-shirt, sending a message, vote 124 or we'll deal with it. A second vote followed with the same results, even though the NLRB found that Sanitation Salvage had again favored Barnadone's union. But the threats, what they call threats from Barnadone's union against the workers, didn't reach the legal threshold required for a new election. So basically, 124 is running the place. The laborers were forced to concede, but they filed a complaint that Bernardone was still running the union despite having been formally indicted by federal prosecutors on racketeering charges, and that federal prosecutors had named him a member of the Genovese family. He would remain there in that position until his eventually conviction. So life goes on.